This isn't really about money, at least not in the way we're all taught to think about it. This is about safety, emotional safety. And it's about how that deep-seated need to feel secure is quietly, maybe even silently, sabotaging your entire financial future.
Yeah, let that one sink in for a second. This right here, this is the core tension. It's the quiet threat that's running just underneath the surface of all our daily decisions.
I'm Lumo, and look, the problem we're examining today isn't some big one-time mistake you make. No, it's a system you're living inside of. It's a system where the chase for emotional safety leads you straight into financial stagnation. And often, you don't even realize it's happening.
See, nobody wakes up in the morning and decides to ruin their future. It just doesn't happen like that. You wake up and you choose what feels stable, what feels reasonable, what keeps things calm. So you keep the job because, hey, it pays on time. You avoid the big risk because what if it hurts? You put off the move because all that uncertainty feels dangerous. And every single one of those decisions feels intelligent. It feels responsible. It feels mature.
And this right here, this illustrates the paradox perfectly. Over time, a life that's been optimized for one thing, emotional safety, inevitably creates the other, financial stagnation. The biggest damage to your finances isn't caused by greed or by being stupid. It's caused by that psychological need to just feel okay right now.
So, let's talk about the real cost of comfort. Let's talk about the hidden price of always feeling okay, a price that almost nobody talks about, but pretty much everyone pays. You picked the routines that lowered your anxiety. You chose the path that didn't threaten who you thought you were. And slowly, invisibly, it started compounding against you. There were no alarms, no warning signs, just years passing while the cost of your comfort just grew and grew in the background. This is where the trap really snaps shut, because feeling emotionally safe feels like you're making progress, but it's not. It is simply preservation. And preservation is the exact opposite of growth. Think about it. Financial progress demands exposure. Exposure to uncertainty, to steep learning curves, to short-term discomfort. That very feeling of safety you crave, it's actually a signal that you're just maintaining. You're not building. So what's really going on here? Well, there's this invisible system running underneath all of your financial decisions. And it's not logic, and it's definitely not intelligence. It's your deep, primal instinct for emotional regulation. Every financial choice you make, every single one, gets filtered through this one silent question. And if the answer is yes, you hesitate, you delay, you rationalize. This is exactly why so many smart, capable people stay stuck. It's not because they don't know what to do. It's because doing it would completely destabilize their emotional equilibrium. And your brain, which, let's be honest, evolved to protect you from saber-toothed tigers, not to make you wealthy, it plays this brilliant little trick on you. It reframes your avoidance as wisdom. But let's be crystal clear. Patience turns into paralysis when it's really just fear. And caution, it becomes a cage when it's driven by the need for comfort. Now, this is the part most people completely miss. Emotional safety is addictive, literally. Every single time you choose comfort over a challenge, your brain gives you a little hit of relief. And because relief feels good, you repeat the behavior. And you do it again and again, until your entire financial life is built around one thing, avoiding discomfort. And all of this leads to the central, most cruel irony in this whole process. See, most of us believe that once we feel secure, then we'll finally take action. But here's the truth. Confidence doesn't come from safety. It comes from surviving uncertainty. Getting ahead financially doesn't require you to feel safe. It requires you to feel capable, even when things are uncertain. And that is a completely different skill. Safety is passive. It's just something you protect. Capability, on the other hand, is active. It's something you have to build through exposure and real-world feedback. So the more you wait around to feel secure before you act, the less capable you actually become of handling risk when it shows up. Your tolerance for ambiguity just shrinks. Your ability to adapt gets weaker. Your fear threshold gets lower. Over time, comfort makes you fragile. So, what's the solution? What's the way out? It's a realization that honestly changes everything. The opposite of financial safety isn't recklessness. It's intentional, strategic discomfort.
Let this sink in. I mean, really let it sink in, because this is the principle that changes how you move forward. If a decision feels emotionally comfortable, it is probably, almost certainly, financially expensive. And if a decision feels emotionally uncomfortable, but you know it's strategically sound, that discomfort is very likely the price of your future freedom. Wealthy outcomes don't come from dodging discomfort, they come from choosing which discomforts are actually going to compound in your favor. It's about trading short-term instability for long-term leverage. It's about trading short-term fear for long-term control. This is the silent path. It's that quiet willingness to feel unstable right now so that your future doesn't collapse on you later.
And to be clear, this isn't about creating chaos or gambling your life away. It's about deliberately training your nervous system to tolerate uncertainty, but in controlled doses, so that fear is no longer the one making your decisions for you.
So here it is, the shift. The one actionable thing you can take away from this. Stop asking yourself, does this feel safe? That question will always lead you to preservation. Instead, start asking, what skill will this discomfort build? Now that is a question that leads to growth. Remember this, those choices you call safe, they are shaping the absolute limits of your future. The comfort you're protecting so fiercely today might just be the very cage you wake up in 10 years from now. If this changed how you think about security, subscribe to CapitolX. And in the comments, I want you to tell me, after hearing this, what's one decision in your life that suddenly feels completely different now?